Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday Mindset Call. My name is Paul Capozio, and what we're doing is I'm going to allow all the cheaters in the audience to have a really good morning with me. And what I want you to do is this: I'm going to go around the room. We're going to acknowledge every single person on this call, and I want you to give me a coaching phrase, a meme, an anecdote, or a quick story, nothing more than 2 minutes, a quick story or something that really, really moved you or motivated you or you think might make a difference for someone, or the latest and greatest thing that your brain is latching on to that you feel like sharing, okay? And if you don't have any of those, listen carefully. If you don't have one that really comes to mind, or your world's greatest one, or something that's in your top 10, I want you to Google something and find it now. So everybody has something. It's not to make you look good. I'm trying to make a point. How the hell, at the age that you are, if you're over the age of 18 or 20 years old, that you don't have something that you could share with someone that is inspirational, that is motivational, that is supportive or supports you? Because if you don't, listen very, very carefully. If you don't have a phrase or an anecdote or a story or something that you can quote immediately when called upon, and you're wondering why your business is not taking you to the next level, it's one of the reasons why. These things that we pour into you, these things that we try to come up with, are not reaching you if you didn't have an aha moment, or you didn't have an inspirational experience. Even with my bad accent, if it doesn't come across to you, then why isn't it reaching you? You have to go on Google right now in this day and age, or in this part of your life, to find that thing to share with somebody. And you wonder why your business isn't growing? How could you possibly inspire people or be inspirational to people if you're not inspired yourself? How is that even possible? Why is that a set of mathematics that hasn't clicked yet in your head to say, if I'm never inspired, all right, Jocelyn, we got you. That's very cool. All right, hey, whatever it takes to get on. So Jocelyn's saying, hey, she's logged on with her kid's iPad. So, and that's it, whatever it takes. Okay, her daughter's iPad. So thank you for Premi for letting your mom pry the iPad out of your hands. I'm sorry that she's traumatizing you. We would never do that. The rest of us on this call would never, ever do that. I'm kidding, Jocelyn. All right, so
that's so funny. Oh my gosh, Paul. Yeah, I'm on the other line with my bank on my phone. So I didn't want to miss this training. I love your training.
I'm so glad. I appreciate that. Well, we love you, and we're glad you're here. And so you get my point. I know you're busy with the phone, but you get my point. How are you going to inspire people, or at least people notice you, if you don't have that thing? If you can't call to mind one quick saying, one quick phrase, you got to be in it to win it, this, whatever. I don't care what it is, but start collecting them. Because as you collect them and feel good about them, people are going to hear it, see it, feel it from you. Everybody unmute and tell me I want to hear, I agree with you 100%, or Paul, you're full of shit. Give me unmute and tell me.
I agree with you, Paul.
I agree with you.
100
Every
agree,
day.
Paul. Agree.
I'm still listening.
Because they say
Okay.
Shit.
people don't
I'm still trying to hear if there's a Paul, you're full of shit. Wait, what did you say, John? I know your voice. I don't even have to see you. I know your voice. What did you say?
Here I am. That quote that someone said recently, it said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it that people hear.
Right. Well, hey, look, who wants to give us an example of, I'll give you, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? So in the great Benny Hill line, what's that in the road ahead? Or what's that in the road ahead? So it means a lot on the way you say it, right? There's dirty ones too, but I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. It's too early in the morning to do any of that stuff. All right, guys. So hold on a second. Let's get to gallery view so I could see everybody here. And I'm going to go one by one, and I want to hear your inspirational phrase or quote. I want to hear your anecdote. I want to hear a story, something that made a difference for you. It doesn't have to be about your business. It could be about your life. It could be about anything. In fact, I love the ones that are more about life, because so many of you, oh my God, it's the greatest thing, and it's a gel, and it's hormone related, and the hormone healthcare, and you go right on to vomiting on people about what you want them to buy, instead of building rapport and building a relationship with those people. Okay, we've heard plenty of stories. I'll use myself as the example because no one else has ever been disliked, only me. No one else has had anybody who disagreed with them. No one else has pissed anybody off, only me. So I'll take the bullet. If you don't elicit some sort of an emotional response in someone, you are completely ineffective. If you want everyone to like you, you're not handling challenges the right way, and you're just appeasing people. And what happens eventually is no one respects you. All right. So I want to hear those phrases. Who wants to go first? Nancy. Nancy's got her hand up. And then, all right, so we'll go Nancy Billingsley first. Then we'll go Diane. And then I need people to put their hands up so that it'll organize a queue. So put your little yellow hand up.
Okay. Ready? This is easy for me because I learned it years ago, a book called Illusions, Richard Bach. And he said in there, you teach best what you most need to learn. So I am a preacher and I don't teach, but I tell people about things and I tell them, drives my husband crazy because I'm always telling him what he should do and he doesn't listen, but I'm telling him because I need to learn too. So it's kind of a learning thing for me. So I've used that forever.
Okay, I'm glad we're recording this, and I'm going to make this one available and post it. I may not make it all fancy. Nancy, the most important thing that I took away from that was when you said, this is easy. Said, oh, this one's easy for me. Why do you think Nancy's getting customers? Why do you think she has a pleasant demeanor? Why she has something at the tip of her tongue to be able to share? She also threw her husband under the bus towards the end of that. And so I can relate to that. I'm married 35 years and I caught that too, right? That's that shock, whatever you call it. It's the Pavlovian dog thing when you flinch. So the best way, look, that's a variation on the best way to learn something is to teach it. Peg and I were just talking about this morning about when you're ready. Why did she turn her camera off right when I started talking about her? But talking about when you're ready to teach and ready to share, right? And that's important, right? So we're going to go to Peg next. Thank you, Nancy.
What you said, Paul, when you want everyone to like you, I just want to kind of unpack that. This is something that I just recently was learning about. So it's the everyone part and the like parts. So the like part, what I'm listening to is saying that you being trusted far outweighs like. So we hear all the time people buy and do business with who they like, know, and trust. And it's the trust. Like, think about who you buy from. Like, you may not like the company Nike, but you may trust, that they've got a good product, right? So that trust factor, and the way that we can quickly build trust with people is by making an impact in their life in a positive way, somehow providing something. So, in your social media, if you're posting stuff that people are like, oh yeah, oh, that's really helpful, they're going to develop that trust in you. And the other part is the everyone. Fraser Brooks always says, if you try to talk to everyone, you're talking to no one. So really narrowing down who it is that you're talking to, who it is that you want to help, and what do they need? How can you impact them, and how can you develop that trust in them? So that's another Paulism that I wanted that I wrote down. Recently, we are on a coaching call with Marie, and you were telling her, how she can talk to people about how can I show you how to monetize that? Or have you ever thought about making money on social media? And your quote was, never underestimate the other guy's greed. I really like that one. So thank you.
Right, that's good. That's good. It's kind of negative, but I'll take it. That's good, Peg. Thank you so much. So everyone to like you, trusted you. The trust thing is important. If people can count on you, and consistency is everything, right? So if they can count on your consistency, if you know something gets my goat and it gets my goat every single time, I'm consistent. If it only gets my goat in the right company, I'm using myself because you guys are all much more beautiful people and you don't do anything wrong or negative. So, but what I'm saying is, if something only gets your goat in certain circles or certain times, you are disingenuous and we're playing to the crowd. Okay. Your standards are your standards, right or wrong, ignorant or not, right? Informed or misinformed. It's your opinion and you got to have it and stick to it until you change it. And it's okay to say, I was wrong about this. Okay. I was wrong about this, or I was wrong about that, or I was right about it. Or you could say, aha, it was right. But and it's okay to gloat, but it's better to be consistent with your feelings, because then people can count on you and trust you. Oh, better not say this to Paul because I know how's going to react. Okay, well, if you know how I'm going to react, it means you truly know me, or you truly know your husband, like Nancy so probably put out for this whole audience of 50 people, whatever. Okay. Lynn Laporte. I'm kidding, Nance. I'm kidding.
Good morning, everyone. This is awesome so far. Gold. So one thing I'll mention before I say my phrase is that I've been doing a book club. Hannah posted in, I think, Mel's group. Anybody want to do a book club? I was the only one that raised my hand. So Hannah reached out to me. So we've been listening to Atomic Habits and we're just about done. And that book, oh my gosh, for those of you who haven't listened or read, it's fantastic. A lot of it we're already all doing, but some of those little nuggets. So habit stacking has been key. And the reason I bring this up is that by habit stacking, this is how I got what I'm going to share with you.
Whoa, slow down. I don't even know what a habit stack is. So tell everybody what a habit. I know what a hobbit is, and I know what a stack is, stack of pancakes, but I don't know. No, I'm kidding. I do, but I want you to share with everybody.
So habit stacking is taking some of the habits that you already do every day consistently and add a new habit in, but add it right next to something that you're consistent with. So say, for instance, you drink coffee every morning. You go to the coffee pot. You want to start drinking a green smoothie. Put your blender or Vitamix right, or whatever you make your green smoothie with, right next to the coffee pot. So visually, you're going to see that when you get your coffee, and you're more apt to begin incorporating that as a habit. Would you say that's a good explanation, Paul?
Very good explanation. It's basically eat the frog, right? Where you have to eat it, so you might as well get it over with. But if you do that, I'm going to give you the perfect example of habit stacking. The first thing, Linda and I, because coffee is a big thing, right? We'll get out of bed and Linda's like, I'm going to make the coffee. So while we're having that cup of coffee is when we start working on some of our communication issues. And we're sitting there having a cup of coffee anyway. So instead of catching up on the last, even though that's what we did this morning. I'm finally watching Breaking Bad, believe it or not. I'm finally on the last few episodes of Breaking Bad. I never watched it, and Linda and I are watching it now. But we would have our coffee and knew that it was coffee time, so that's going to be the time we're going to work on the communication things. What did we get upset about last night that we didn't finish the conversation, or what did we like, or what are we going to do with my parents, or whatever it may be. So we forced that time into that coffee time, and start working on it. That's the habit stack that we do on that. Otherwise, you just forget it and things get swept under the rug. So very good, really good, really, really good. So Atomic Habits. You could also eat the frog. Make sure you do the hardest thing first or whatever. So there's a lot of variations on that. Key is, are you doing it? You're collecting all this data, right? We're doing all of these things. I know there's a big distraction right now with this new app tool and everything. Are we realizing that that's not the most important thing? These are tools, books, information that we must put into action. Okay? We can fall in love with. Diane and I were talking about, I think we were talking about it on a call where you go to the Barnes and Noble and you buy 50 self-help books, you never read any of them. Buy one at a time and absorb it. And don't worry about the next new book that just came out or the next new thing that just came out, because if you're not using the last new thing that just came out, all you're doing is excited about it's the shiny new notebook. I used to love my notebook. I told this story a million times. When I would go to school and my mom would buy me those brand new hardcover black and white marble notebooks, and they were perfect and clean, and the binder wasn't, yeah, there you go. But remember, Diane Chasik, remember when they were the black hard cardboard outside composition books and everything? I used to love getting 2 or 3 of those brand new. There you go. I have them here too. I got my yellow one here and my red one, and I'm not full of shit, guys. I do it too, okay? But the point is, I used to love the brand new ones. Rochelle's got black and white. I couldn't find black and white. Okay, so look, the point is, it's not the brand new shiny notebook with nothing in it. It is what you do with it. Would you rather have Albert Einstein's empty, unused notebooks that you knew he bought at the dollar store? Because everything was $1 back then, for real. Or do you want his notebooks that are filled? Or would you like my notebooks with all my stuff in it? This is like early Paul Capozio stuff, the beginnings of a lot of stuff, and leads. Here's a leads list. Okay. Would you like to have that? Or do you want the empty one? No, you want the full one. It's what you do with the tools. It's what you do with the information, right? It's what you do, what you read in the book, not that the fact you got a brand new unopened book here, and it's like, you want it dog-eared and tired, all right? But you don't want 50 of them dog-eared and tired, because you spend so much money, so much time dog-earing a book and not putting anything into place so that you learn from the one you read 5 years ago. Lynn, Skoda, you're next. Diane Chasik's got something good in the chat, guys. I'm sorry, Lynn, go ahead.
No big deal. I guess I don't really have anything life shattering or anything, but once I came close to dying, and my quote since then for 5 years, 6 years now has been, if I'm gonna live, I'm gonna live. So people know that. And they know that I don't mess around, and I do what I say what I do, and I move ahead. And like, I wouldn't be sporting this gel if if it didn't mean something to me or has helped me. So I just kind of go with that. And the other thing that I was thinking of was I think it was like Jen Adams, like a lot, or some things it's just done, not perfect, is another way, is another thing I'm trying to get a
done.
I want to make this.
The phrase is done is better than perfect.
Yeah, done is. Yeah, rather just I'd like to create things on Canva and do this and do that, but I got to stop and step back and just do what I can, I guess.
Lynn, first of all, and I see that when you do your cooking and everything else and you start your living. So here's the deal I got to ask you. And you said, if I'm not going to die, I'm going to live, right? And I want to live. That was very powerful, okay? And not everybody has that big of a crisis in their life as a motivator to get them to the next level. So I don't want everybody to think, well, you got to have either lost it all or be broke or almost die to find success in life or happiness in life. But Lynn, I got to ask you a question. How much of what you just said, if I'm not going to die, I'm going to live, and I want to live my life to the fullest, and done is better than perfect, how much of that is in your 2-minute story when you have to tell somebody? I know the answer already, but when you need to tell somebody about what is it that you do, and I doubt that makes it into it.
I think it's getting old now. 4 years in.
It's old for you, and that's what. Lynn, thank you so much, because I want to tell you, so many people are excited about everything that's new, right? And what you don't realize is your customer hasn't seen or been on the 4-year journey with you, right? When I've been to Disney World, I don't know how many times. I don't know how many times. And I've seen it all, and it's nostalgic when I go, okay? But my granddaughter has never been until a couple of months ago when we took her. It was brand new for her. It actually even made it new for me. So when we're chasing this new and shiny object for us, it's because we haven't settled into the fact that, hey, I'm with the New You Life. I'm with the gel, and I've been here for 5 years. You don't know how many times I told a story about my wife and Hashimoto's, and I had the dream with the turtle and everything else. But for the people I talk to, it's brand new. They don't care about the 4-year journey that you went to. It's their journey starting today. So we have an obligation of understanding that what got us to this point is more important than what we need to keep us engaged. So when you get excited about a new book or a new tool or a new app or a new notebook or a new call or whatever it may be, that's only for you. And we need, how many remember a product called KG4? Everybody remember KG4? How excited was everybody about KG4? Oh my God, it's going to be a game changer. It's going to be, where is it? Where is it? And what's still selling without a problem? KG4, why am I out of focus? KG4 is an amazing, amazing product. I still have 30 cans of it. I'm going to go back on it again. Okay. But it was to get us excited. The company did not need that product now at that moment, but we as a field were getting bored because we lost sight of. That's like McDonald's saying, you know what, I think we're going to stop with it. We just did hamburgers for way too long. I think we're done. Yes, you could add chicken McNuggets. You can add the McFlurry. But you guys got to stop treating your own small minor concerns about how you keep yourself engaged and selling yourself out for the people that you're talking to. Your excitement must come from the new person's excitement. The same way when I walked through those gates and my granddaughter's eyes became like the size of pie plates, right? When she walked in and saw Disneyland for the first time, Disney World for the first time, right? I was reinvigorated. That was probably one of my second or third top trips, probably my second top trip. And I only say that because my first was my honeymoon, and I have to say that. But I think taking my granddaughter there for the first time was actually even bigger than the first time I ever went to Disney World. Okay, so you get my point. Your job, your motivation, the reason for this call, the reason for what we do is to get you re-energized and keep you focused on the new person that doesn't know anything about it. Okay, Diane Chasic's on friggin' fire today. To remember the word duplicate, what we do on a daily basis, we teach the same thing daily. So yes, and you know what? It could get boring. I'm sure when people, my dad's had been in a rehab center for weeks now, in the same bed, in the same room, in the same TV, other than getting out. It's like prison, right? It's like, other than getting out to do his rehab, and today he doesn't get rehab, right? And so now it's even worse. He's in that bed all day long. He's got to be going stir crazy, right? Yes, we drop my mom off for 4 hours a day. I go for a 45 minutes. Linda goes for 45 minutes every day, drop off, pick up. My mom's there most of the day, but it gets crazy. So you need to do something to keep yourself in it. Okay. So you get my point. You guys keep on unwrapping presents instead of giving presents to people. Okay. Diane, you're up next.
Okay, so believe it or not, at one time I had a big problem with confidence. So I started reading Dale Carnegie, and his quote to me, I took personal, was, inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage.
Hold on a second. Doubts and fear. Action breeds confidence.
And courage.
And courage. We're seeing that more in you in the last 3 months than we've probably ever seen it before, right?
Right.
So, and I'm not going to take any credit for it. When you give people the right tasks, if you give people the ability to function and do what they're good at, they will excel. And then get the hell out of their way. Diane, you texted me the other day and said, hey, can I put this in? And I said, Diane, do whatever the hell you want. And I didn't mean do whatever the hell you want. I meant do whatever the hell you want, right? Because you got to get to a point. And what happens? So let's say she posts something, whatever. She posts Rick Goltz's nudes. All right. It was a mistake, Diane. Take them down. But we go on from there. So I want to be able to get to everybody. But Diane, so inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. What is it telling you? Just you got to do it. The more you do it, the better you'll be at it. The more comfortable you'll be at it. The more you won't hide behind a script or something. You'll get in there and actually do it. Because ultimately, no matter what we do, it comes down to things like this. People have to be engaged with you and communicate with you. Really good, Diane. Really.
So
really
when I get to somewhere that I'm a little uneasy, I don't feel like I'm confident enough, I say the phrase and then I say 1, 2, 3, go. And then I just do it.
I actually did that this morning because I thought I didn't want to stay in bed this morning. So I'm like, just 3, 2, 1, get the hell out, get up. My eyes half closed.
Yep.
Very good. Lynn Scott, I want to go back to you. Make sure that's going in, that story is staying or lives in your 2-minute story when you talk to people. They want to know who you are. They want to have belief. They want to have something to like that's your wait what moment. Wait, what? You almost died? That's your wait what moment. And every story has to have a wait what moment. All right. So remember, you're bored with your story, just like we get bored in our relationships and we get bored. I used to have this with Linda. I told her I loved liverwurst a long time ago. Okay. And let me tell you something. There was always liverwurst in the refrigerator. Always. I called it the liverwurst syndrome. When Linda finds out something and then that liverwurst buying thing became a habit for her because I moved on from liverwurst sandwiches after about the 30,000th one, right? But she kept doing it. And I said, and then something else would come in. And I'd say, Lynn, it's the liverwurst syndrome all over again. So people say, what the hell's the liverwurst syndrome? The liverwurst syndrome is like Linda gets fixated on something. She gets into that groove and there's always going to be liverwurst or there's always going to be Swiffers or there's always going to be some new thing that's showing up regardless of whether we need them or not. Okay. Curtis. What's up, brother? Hi, guys.
Hey, what's going on?
Hi.
So something I've always lived by is fake it till you make it. When I started my roofing business 20 years ago, nobody wants to hire somebody inexperienced, doesn't have their grasp on running a business. So I've always presented myself like I was more successful than I was the first, 5 years maybe. Now it's grown into such a good running business. It's just on autopilot. You know what I mean? But it took all those years of faking it till you made it. And it goes for the same in this gel business. If you want to attract a certain type of caliber person, you got to be something they want. You got to be attractive to them. So you got to fake it till you make it. Something I've always lived by, and it's panned out for me.
Okay. So you got to take that in the right context, right? We're not talking about deception. We're talking about belief and energy, right? That's the biggest thing. I want you to think about, I just picked this huge thing out of my nose and I have nowhere to put it. Hold on. Oh my God, this huge thing came out of my nose. Good thing we're recording this. Oh my God. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Wow, that was like massive. I think it was brain attached to that. Okay, so stay focused, everybody. Stay focused. Curtis, let's break that down, okay? Let's break that down. Look at it. Faith it till you make it. Oh, I like that even better. Faith it till you make it.
That's a good
Peg and
one.
I were just talking about this today, right? And you wonder why Peg and I are having these conversations? Because she calls me, okay? Right? And you could see the results, right? When I talk about Diane all the time, we talk, right? And it's not always about New You Life. Unfortunately, it's sometimes about health or other issues. But so she said to me, I don't want to go down the road so much with my coaching. I still want to give credit to other people's coaching. Like, look, I'm going to tell you something right now, what I told Peg. If you think all of these books you're reading and everything else about motivation, personal development, it all stemmed from a book called the Bible. Whether you believe in the Bible or not is irrelevant. Or the Quran. Pick a book. These are the ultimate motivational books that were first created. Everyone else took that information and put their spin on it, and it became the latest best-selling self-help book. Okay? Maybe they take God out of it. Maybe they put God into it. Maybe they put something that's there it's not. It doesn't matter. Every movie you've ever seen has been done before. Every story is a variation on other stories, right? Uniqueness is what twist we put on it. So I told Peg, right, hey, take what you've learned from people and start making it your own. And Peg, is it okay if I go down this road? So if I'm talking to, let's say, she says, if I'm talking to a 7-figure earner or something, and they're going to say, well, are you making 7 figures? No. My answer to that is, what the hell? I'm serious. What the hell does it matter what I'm making? What do you want to make? Because if I'm making a number that you think is impossible to reach, have I helped you or hurt you? I need to know your number. You want to see what our numbers are? Get on one of our calls. You want to see what we're producing and the type of people we're creating? Put the effort in. But before you go even further, it's not my number that matters. What's your number? Is it $100 a week? Is it $100 a minute? What is it? Because if you don't have that figured out yet, you're just trying to figure out how not to do something. Oh, well, Paul, I thought you made $7 million in New You Life. Oh, I thought it was there. You know, what does it matter if you haven't made a penny yet? What does it matter unless you're just looking for an out and it's your limiting beliefs bubbling up from inside you to find an excuse about why you can't do something? That's really all it is. When people start taking these shots, say, oh, slow down a second, pal. Listen, if you don't want this, it's fine. Don't really just come down on what I'm doing. What's your number? And let's help you get there. And if I don't help you get there or see that I have the potential or the people around me can help you get there, you have every right to call my bluff. But until then, it's put up or shut up time. Do you want to do this? I could show you thousands of people, tens of thousands of people that have done it. I could show you people who made $1 million in their first year in New You Life, and I could show you people who've been here for 5 or 6 years and haven't made $1 million yet. Doesn't mean they're unhappy. Does not mean they're unsuccessful. They either have to grow and change, or they have reached the level of success that they found that definition to be. I don't know what your definition of success is. Only you know what it is. And guess what? You could change it. So if your level of success, if you want to gauge success here by money, and that money is an extra $500 a month, and you reach $500 a month, and you want to change that to $1,000, I'm all for it, baby. But to never have a target, you'll always miss it. Always miss it. Okay, Curtis, I'm sorry. Was there anything else? Fake it till you make it. I want to make sure people understand what that means. And then we're gonna go to Levi. Kermaine, if you wanted to do it, just raise your hand and you'll get in the queue, bro. Yeah, no, I mean, wait, let me show him how to do that. Hold on, let me show. I'll do it for you. How do I raise his hand? He's got to click on the 3 dots or something. And okay, so he didn't realize that, so we're gonna move him in the queue. You go right after Jennifer Chubb. All right, yeah, perfect. All right, Levi, What's up? Good to see you, bro. I really got to give you your commitment, man. I see you. You're commenting, you're posting, you're on the calls. It's what you need to do, man. It's what you need to get your people to do too, and we'll get you there.
Right. Yeah,
Thanks.
It's been a little of a slow start for me. My thing I'd have to say is along the lines of with Curtis is go big or go home. Because if you don't put your all into it, then you won't get all back.
It's true. It's 100% true. Right. All right. So have you ever done the obstacle course in the military?
Yes.
Right. And you ever go try to get up the wall and you got to reach, I don't know if they have the rope anymore or they don't have the rope, but if you don't jump high enough and go for it, you're not making it over the wall.
That's
right?
true.
Now, there are people here who could help you over the wall, but that's only when you can get up high enough that you can grab somebody's hand. So there still has something to do. So I love that. Go big or go home. You got to go for it. You got to take a running start and go for it. And guess what? If you haven't and you've been here for 4 years, you could do it today. And if you've been here for a couple of weeks like you, doesn't matter. Every day is, people get too much information sometimes, is confusing to people, and a confused mind does nothing. That's why it's so good to make it real simple and have your job right now, if I can give you any coaching live in front of all these people, is to master the invite. Just master inviting people to say, listen, I got a great group of people I want you to meet. I'm excited about this opportunity. I'm going, well, what is it? What is it all about? Listen, get on the call. No, leave your credit card at home, put it in the other room. Nobody's trying to grill your money. Just take a look at what we're doing. You must master the invitation of people just to take a look. And once they realize that they could take a look and they realize they could build it as you're going, we're building it. The beauty about network marketing, because of all these beautiful people on this call, is that we're building the airplane as we're taking off. Right? Yeah. You're building you're at ready. You could invite people here today. They could be on this call. They could be on the Wednesday night call. Before your airplane even takes off, you're building it versus sitting there and waiting, put every part together and testing it. You could actually be making money.
Nice. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was good. Go big or go home. I love that one. Actually, that is my my buddy Alex Stern took go big or go home. And now at this level of his career, his new phrase is go big and then go bigger.
Nice.
All right, great. Thank you so much for sharing, man.
Yeah.
And thank you for your continued engagement, because that's what it takes. Stay focused, stay in the game. Mel Jordan.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
It's very early for me, so
really,
you apologize for my
I love
appearance.
you for being here. Let's hear it from Mel.
I am not a morning person, but and I was in Mary Kay, right, for a long time while I was doing the bar, and Mary Kay used to say, everybody walks around with an individual sign around their neck that says "Make me feel important." And so I think that in my bar world and in this world, I really try to implement that you don't know what's going on in somebody's life, and I want to make them feel important. And so that's like my favorite Mary Kay quote. And then I think more recently has been, to divorce myself from the results of the activity and just embrace who I'm becoming. And not knowing everything and trying to not figure out everything. And so for my own self, I've been trying to tell even my team, but we're just moving forward. It doesn't matter where the scoreboard ends, or, as long as we're doing the activity, that it's going to come. So that's my two.
Well, thank you so much. What time is it there, Mel?
7:41.
Oh, it's not that bad. It's
on a Friday night with 9 teenagers in your house. Saturday mornings are a little different than your guys' Saturday mornings, probably, but no, it's good.
So let's break down Mel's. How many of you are making your people feel important, or when you're on that call, you're trying to make yourself feel important? Think about it. Don't have to answer. Think about it. Are you up there to try to make yourself feel important? Or why do you think I take stuff out of my nose live on the air? Why do you think I talk about my accent? I keep myself as humble as I possibly can, but yet not to the level where I'm not going to open my mouth and share. So it takes a certain level of balance of confidence and humility to do this right. Because you've all heard people like, oh my God, that guy or that girl, if she won't shut up, oh my God, what do they think of themselves? Oh my God, their head is so big, I can't believe it fits on the screen. Be careful. Be careful. Okay. So, so you said that make me feel important, that everybody's walking around with a sign around them that says, make me feel important. So do it. So do it and see how everything changes. See how your invites change. See how you go, you're vomiting a script on people of information that you feel is important to them. We talked about how we got to have the new and exciting thing because we're bored with the old story, and you haven't even perfected the old story yet. And you want to use either a new technology or a new book or a new phrase, or everything will stop. Somebody will put a great script in the chat. And everyone, get it. Where? Dude, I got to get a recording of it. Get me a copy of it. Send me the script. Where can I find it? All of that stuff happens, right? We all get distracted and we never use it anyway. I want to see some of your notebooks and I want to see how much you've used that stuff. Or is it better to pick one thing and stick with your 2-minute story and get going? I'm not saying all of these things don't help you. Okay? What I'm saying is you got to throttle your usage. You got to throttle what's working and not working. Okay. How many of you have stopped your daily method of operation and want to create a new method of operation every 30 days with some new idea? Be careful. Be careful. Because your customer or your potential prospect hasn't seen anything yet. The stuff that you completely abandoned 4 years ago, and the stuff you're learning today, they've seen nothing of it yet. Nothing. Okay. Now, and then she also said that, and this is a big one, this is actually one that I really believe in, is divorce the outcome and marry the process. What? Which is another way, she said it in a much more eloquent way, but you need to really commit to the process and divorce yourself from the outcome, because the outcome is really the way you gauge it. But until you get the process down pat, if you don't have your 2-minute story perfected yet, and it's all about me, gel, me, gel, and you didn't make the other person feel important, you don't deserve an outcome, positive outcome. You really don't. You really don't. You didn't do it right. You didn't do it right. So you're going to gauge your outcome on a process that you married yourself to that's the incorrect process. Once you fine-tune it and get your skill set going and your confidence, like Diane said about the confidence, inactivity breeds, fear, all right? And activity breeds confidence and courage. You're hearing it all, guys. You're giving it back to me better than we originally gave it to you. Marie Newcomb. Thank you, Mel. Love you. You got on mute. You got on mute.
Sorry, I muted you because I'm coughing my head off and I didn't want to be that distracting. Anyway, the one I try to follow is do more of what makes you happy. The days aren't coming back.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
And it's okay if you Googled it to get the right phrase, but did you have that in your head or you had to go find it?
I've had it for a while. Someone sent it to me a long time ago, and I actually have it on my Facebook cover for this group of women that I work out with.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And again, I said, it's okay if you look it up now because you want to, but and by the way, if you just had to look it up, I want you to tell me that too. Okay. Thanks, Marie. Appreciate it. I'm going to step it up a little bit because it's getting
time's wasted.
Yeah. No, the time's starting to click away. Go ahead, Charmaine. I'm going to do a less play-by-play commentary.
Well, good morning, everyone. So because we were talking about connection, I call myself a connector. So Paul has talked about, let's not vomit on everyone, let's not talk about us. And Mel had said, make other people feel important. So this is a quote that I've written down. It's really old. So I've had it for a while, but it is, there is no hope of joy except in human connection. And that's by Anton de Saint-Exupéry. And I look at that because as I am trying to share about what I do in the business, I know that people have that sign that says, make me feel important. So I do want to be able to hear people. And Bob Heilig talks about the doctor does not prescribe the diagnosis until they know what the problem is, right? So you have to know what the person's problem or what their issue is, right? Before we can say, oh, I've got this great product, or, oh, I've got a great business. So we need to have that human connection first.
Hey, if you're not selling any of our other products and only the gel, it's because all you're doing is forcing the gel on people. If someone tells you that they can't forget, where they don't remember where their car keys were, right? And you want to start them off with the gel, you didn't listen to that person. And it's a very simplified way of looking at it. But so there is no hope in joy, or there is no hope for joy without connection. What have we been telling you?
Human connection. Right.
Without human connection.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd rather have a dog sometimes, but
Me too.
All right. Like I said, I'm not going to do too much play-by-play. Rochelle.
This is something that Ray Higdon just said the other day that just kind of hit me. And it's if you're doing something you don't like, but you're not moving forward, that's fear. Faith is doing the unknown and moving forward. So sometimes it's
doing something you don't like, or doing something you do like, but not moving forward.
Well, he said don't like.
Okay.
I mean, you don't really like what you're doing, but you're not doing anything about it and you're not moving.
Okay.
So a lot of us sit where we're at, and maybe some people complain about it, but if you're not doing anything about it, that's fear. You're not moving away from it.
Right.
So faith. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Faith is just stepping out there and moving. You don't know what's going to happen or what, but faith is taking that step and doing the unknown.
And I'll add one little thing to it. Okay. And it works for it if you're doing something you do like and you're not moving forward. Right. But make sure the action you're taking is really some sort of activity that's moving you forward, and not something that's just some distraction or just some slick, idea or book that you're going to read, because that's not getting you to do what you need to do, which is talk to people. Right.
Yeah.
So really, really good. I want to tell you mentioned Ray Higdon. Peg mentioned Bob Heilig. Bob Heilig is doing an event for us, guys. I want everybody on that event. All right. This is a very, very important thing to hear from other coaches, leaders, trainers, other than, the people just within your world, right? Sometimes it's good when you go to a church and you ever have a bishop or something, or someone else come in, another pastor come in. You're like, wow, that guy was really good. No, it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. It's a different way to say it. And we need to do that. So I want you guys in on the Bob Heilig, and I want you guys to promote the Bob Heilig training. It will be a controlled group, but hear some fresh voices. I talk to 3 network marketing leaders every single day. And I really try to talk to people who are at a higher income level than I am. Will I recruit them? I don't know. Maybe. I think I got a shot. But the point is, I want to hear. I don't want to live in a vacuum. I don't want to just be hanging out with the choir, singing the same songs that we're singing. I want to see what they're singing in other places. Okay? I want to see what's working. We're a $190 billion industry. Yes, New Your Life did almost 800 million in the last 5 years. Great. But we're in a $190 billion industry. There are other people doing things bigger, better, and we need to bring them here. Think about that, guys. Don't live in a world where you think it's just this small town, just a small town girl, right? living in a lonely world because she moved into this big, moving into the city, whatever. And then all of a sudden you get there. How many of you, the first time you went to Vegas, looked down the strip and said, oh my God, this is like crazy, right? Crazy. Well, let's get to Vegas, right? Let's stop living in, Youngstown, Ohio, and get to Vegas and realize that there's a whole nother world out there, good and bad. Rick, how you feeling, brother?
Doing great. Thank you.
Good.
Appreciate you.
Hey, congratulations on your new protege. He's doing great. I think you need to find 4 more and you're on your way to diamond.
Boy, he's a wonder, isn't he? I'm just so shocked that a man that young can be that impressive. I mean,
well, you need to do what you do best, and you need to just go after those people. I mean, you're a good recruiter, Rick. There's no 2 ways about it.
Thank you. Well, he's been doing a lot of work on himself. The personal development that young man has done is amazing. But what I'd like to say is a phrase that I've become very knowledgeable about lately is real simple. Embrace the suck. Embrace the suck. And what that means is you got to just learn how to love the things that aren't lovable. I think back to my football days. We used to practice every day the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over till you wanted to cry. But that's the way we got good at it. We do one-on-ones, we do get-off drills, we do all sorts of different drills, the same drills every day, same time every day, and until you just wanted to scream. But every day we did it, we got better. And then when it come to game time, you didn't even have to think about it. And you look at the military, what they do, the kind of drills they do is the same thing. They do the same things over and over and over and over. And it's the same thing in our business here. I think about all the thousands of prospecting calls and texts and emails I've sent out, the same thing over and over and over and over. And when you do it enough, then you run into someone like Omari Jones, who just gets it. But you had to go through so many other people that just didn't have a clue. You wonder, is it all worth it? But you just got to keep doing it. Embrace the suck. Just keep doing what you don't like doing, what you don't think is going to get you anywhere, but don't stop.
Absolutely right. Embrace the suck. You said drills, right? How many have ever heard the term, you just got to drill it into your head, right? Well, what are drills? Drills create it. So when you do that thing and you drill that thing over and over and over again to the point where it becomes boredom or repetitive, it becomes automatic, and then it becomes instinctual. And then when you're under a high pressure situation, right? You mentioned the military. Yes, that's probably one of the most dangerous, right? But take it for this business. Instead of being nervous about getting shot at, and then your muscle memory kicks in and your instincts kick in, or your drills, think about in this business when we're saying we get bored with the old phrase, we get bored with the story, we don't want to do it the same old way, and we look for something new. You have no muscle memory on the new. If you develop and drill over and over on the old, when that person gets on the phone and says, well, what about this? And you have the answer. What about this? And you have the answer. But if you don't drill on it, and if you don't do it, and if you don't have the repetitive nature, and you didn't embrace the process, right? If you didn't divorce the outcome and embrace the process, you haven't drilled enough. And that's why people aren't converting for you. Because go ahead.
I wanted to say one other thing. Jim Rohn is someone we all know, I think, and I love Jim Rohn, all that he said and did, and he was just an inspiration to me and so many others.
Millions.
He said something simple. He said, success is a few simple disciplines, practice every day. What was it? Success. Failure is a few errors in judgment repeated every day. So you can repeat a few simple things every day over and over and over. That equals success. But in the same way, you can repeat errors in judgment daily, and you're going to come up with a completely different result.
Absolutely. And stay focused on your drills. If you keep changing your strategy or your daily method of operation, you will never know what works. And then all of a sudden you'll try something new And that'll work because somebody will say yes. And you're thinking, oh my God, this works. No, you need to do something hundreds of times and get hundreds of yeses and nos to know if this thing, then you divide your yeses and your nos into your number of tries to figure out if something's effective or not. I'm going to tell you right now, most of you have not perfected one thing in this business yet. Think about it. You probably have one thing that if I called on you in front of 10,000 people to share one bit of information, you'll freeze up because you're not drilling. You're constantly changing your clothes. You're constantly changing your ideas. And you don't embrace the suck. I say also embrace the boredom, because for you, boredom sounds to your prospect as experience and confidence. When people hear me say a story that I've said 50,000 times, it becomes convincing and it becomes natural, and they adopt it as fact. Why? Because it's factual with me. You've all heard me tell the same stories over and over again. There's a reason for that. It's the person listening to it, not you on the three-way call, not me who said it 50,000 times. It's that person, that new person needs to hear credibility, needs to hear consistency. They don't hear the words that you're sharing. They hear how you share the words and where it's coming from. And when you're stumbling and looking for words, or one objection throws you off, right? Because you don't know that you know that you know, because you keep switching scripts and switching ideas and sending this video instead of that video and this PDF instead of that PDF, right? That you're not, and not focusing on what their needs are. This is why you're not finding success, because you have not embraced the suck. You have not embraced the boredom, and you have not practiced enough. You're bored with things that you haven't even perfected yet. Can anybody honestly own up to that you're bored with things that you haven't even perfected? Anybody want to be honest and open up to that? That you may be bored with things, or things didn't work for you, that you never even really tried to do or perfected your ability to do them, and you feel that they don't work, and you keep adding new things and new books and new ideas to yourself? And you keep wondering. I'm sorry, Jen. I know I'm sorry. But it's so important for me to get this across. We're going long today, guys, so I appreciate if you got a little extra time. Jennifer, go ahead. It's Jennifer's very first Zoom, everyone. So let's give her a round of applause and her learning how to unmute a Zoom call.
Here I am. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Jen.
I came up with this other page, want me to change my background. I'm like, where'd that come from? Good morning, everybody. So I get challenged with habits, breaking old habits, making new habits, getting up and doing the same thing over and over and over. So what my saying that I say to myself countless times every day, if nothing changes, nothing will change. And that's what I use to kind of motivate me when I see myself going down the road of doing the same habits and the same things that I do daily. And I'm like, if nothing changes, nothing will change. You got to change it. So that's a very strong saying that motivates.
Strong saying. And is that something that's readily available to you, or something that you just kind of grabbed onto today?
Oh no, I have it written down several places in my house.
Good. Okay. So if nothing changes, there's also one that's similar to that. If you can't change people, change people. Because sometimes, we got to change who we hang around with if they're not where we want to be. You know, it's not saying you completely abandon them and never speak to them again. But if you're going to run with the crowd, isn't it funny how much better you play basketball when you're playing with better people who play basketball better than you? Or you play golf with people who have a better game than you, and all of a sudden your game gets better and we become elevated. And sometimes we want to be the best player on the court, or the best player on the golf course, or the best player at pickleball, or whatever your thing is. So we want to be the best player, and we play with people who are below our game, and all you're doing is suppressing your game, and your game gets worse and worse and worse. Nobody's challenging you.
What do you say? If you're the smartest person in the group, then you need to
Get
go
a new
find a new
group.
group.
Get a new group. Exactly right. Kamar, thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
I thought you said Mark. Sorry about that. Hello,
No,
everybody.
I'm sorry, but wait, is it, I can't, hold on a second. I thought it's not Kamar. It's Kamane. I'm sorry, man.
Kamani.
I'm sorry. I need these desperately. Do I look smarter when I put them on?
You do.
How are you, man?
It's Kamani.
Kamani, how are you? I'm sorry. I apologize.
So to wrap this up real quick, my wife and I, for the first 16 of our 18 years together, she thought I was always happy, always excited, always positive.
Ooh,
she never understood that I have bad days as well. And kind of like Curtis had said earlier, fake it till you make it. I was working up in the North Slope, Alaska, and I would have people tell me that my energy actually is what they look forward to in the day when I would come into the office. And so my passion is to make other people feel better, right? I want to leave somebody better than I found them, whether it was a quick hello or a long conversation. And so when I would go in, I would think, how can I make someone's day better? And then I would see people's mood enhance and get better and brighter, and that would make me happier. So whether I was faking it or not, it actually made me happy, which then led to me being exactly what I sought for myself. So two of the quotes that I actually live by is one, every man I meet is my superior in some way. So what can I learn from this man, this woman, this child, this adult? And then on my contact card in my phone, it says phenomenal attracts phenomenal, right? That's by Billy Alsbrook. And when I talk to somebody and they get excited about my energy, my excitement, my whatever I'm doing, I remind them that phenomenal attracts phenomenal. So the fact that we're talking, they attracted me to them or I attracted them to me, but it reminds them that they're phenomenal. And then you see how people light up. So that's something I do and live by.
Kamani, I got a question for you, because you that's very powerful, right? I mean, people are applauding. I see that, and phenomenal attracts phenomenal. And you want everyone to see your superior in some way. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you ever drink about this carefully? Do you ever when you do all of that and you do all that giving, right? Do you ever feel drained at the end of the day? Like, I know it makes you feel better too at the same time, but do you ever feel drained? I suspect you may be an empath. Like, people can almost leave their negative energy with you and you kind of convert it and transfer it. Does that make any sense to you? Like, have you ever felt drained or anything after a certain person, is around you and you make them feel good, but all of a sudden you feel drained? Or like even your relationship at home?
I know and understand exactly what you're saying, and yes, but I also choose the circle in which I keep. Okay. So like you guys were saying earlier, if you're in a room with 5 people and you're the smartest, you're in the wrong room. The richest, you're in the wrong room. So if I find myself with people and I'm always having to bring them up and basically they're kind of energy suckers, right. I don't mind helping them.
You know where I'm going.
I don't mind helping them out in that moment, but I'm not going to surround myself with that. I want positivity in my life. So in that moment, I will do what I can to help you, but I'm not going to continue and allow myself to be brought down.
So Kamani's got that empathic quality, but he wants to try to leave people better, and he wants to as their raising of energy raises his energy, right? So I want you to, this is a real deep deep conversation, and we'll have it more so, and whatever, we'll talk more. But this is real deep. I didn't want to go here, but now if you're the type of person who people always want to be around, that's good. If you're the person you're feeling you're going through people a lot, or people are all of a sudden ghosting you or abandoning you, and you're not building those long-term relationships, maybe it's your energy that people feel drained after being around you. So someone like Kamani is probably more in tune to your negativity than other people would be. Like my wife happens to be the same way, of that same energy level, brings other people, but then she'll be like, oh my God, I'm just exhausted with so-and-so today at the Super Bowl party and everything else. Like, then you'll see people gravitating away from you. So you need to change your energy, change your reality. And I'm actually working on that right now. I'll get a little deep with you guys. I would be able to meditate, close my eyes, and I would see this purple, like almost like an amoeba that would, I'd close my eyes, and when I'm meditating, it would be purple, and I've got the purple back, and it took me about 5 days to get it back. When I close my eyes, I see this purple shape that's constantly turning itself inside out, almost like, when you knead bread dough and the inside becomes the outside and everything. That's what I see when I meditate. And that completely went away. And I knew I was in a really, really negative state. And there's a lot going on, what we're trying to do, build company internationally. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on that you guys aren't aware of. And that was really draining me a lot. And I had to really go back to get my energy back and actually change my reality, right? Change my reality of which reality I wanted to be functioning in. I was in a highly negative one. And my wife helped me get to there. And Kamani, I think you have that ability that people would, if they could, they would suck all the positive energy out of you, and ultimately they wouldn't leave positive either. It's just it's like a grounding you right to the ground and taking all the energy out of you. So be careful, but I appreciate you sharing. That was good. That was deep. I didn't expect you to get so deep so quick, dude, but that's really good. You got me thinking. All right, so let's go to Jocelyn. Jocelyn, on Premi's iPad.
Yeah. Okay. So I have like a couple things to say, and I know we don't have like a ton of time, but I am so dang proud of, the people that are on my team. Kamani, Wade's not on this call, but I just really am just amazed by what they did. And they both, promoted to executive promoter, this past week. And I just wanted to, say congratulations to them.
Oh, congratulations, guys. Rank advancements are everything.
Yeah, I'm so proud of them. And then, I have Amber on here, and I saw Sally on here, and they have helped, their members get to promoter. And so there's just a lot of exciting things happening. And I wanted to kind of talk about, being coachable, being teachable, because these guys, Wade and Kamani, they came in and they did exactly what we were training them to do. And that is why they are where they're at. I firmly believe that. And, I found a quote about just being coachable on Pinterest, and I kind of wanted to, read it to you guys, but it's just so important to, if you want to have success, just listen to your coaches here, people that, have had success, and we're just really just trying to show you the way. But I'm just really proud of my team right now. And, being coachable is agreeing to follow the guidance of another without questioning it, without needing to first understand why, without needing to analyze it, and without trying to adapt it. It is putting full faith in the person teaching you to show you a new way of doing something, and being open to learning it exactly that way. So I wanted to say that. I also kind of wanted to touch on, vulnerability. I have been, building like a couple businesses since 2015 on social media. My first company I started in 2015, but I have learned along the way of just like how important it is to be like super real and vulnerable, and being consistent too. So I am pretty open, and I know it's very hard for people to be vulnerable. I completely get that, because of like, being worried about what other people think. We're in our head. I'm like a chronic overthinker. And I've just really have had a lot of success because I'm like just push past that, uncomfortable like moments of just sharing things, but I know that it's like helping people. And I've opened up, I have bipolar disorder, and I've opened up about it on my social media. And I've had like an influx of people that have reached out to me, and they're just like so thankful that I have, been so vulnerable, because they feel less alone. But the gel has helped me tremendously with tapering off of medication. So I'm actually not on medication anymore, and I feel incredible. And I'm just like so thankful for the gel because of that. And I've been able to help people, get on the gel, actually, that have suffered with what I suffer with the mental health struggles, and they are feeling incredible too. So it's been very special. But I did find a couple quotes too on, vulnerability and trust. I love Brene Brown. If you guys struggle with being open, struggle with being vulnerable and worried about what other people think, and deal with shame from trauma or anything growing up, I can tell you, like, personal development, reading Brene Brown books are incredible. She's helped me so much in my life. One thing that she said is, trust is a product of vulnerability that grows over time and requires work, attention, and full engagement. Another one is, trust is not built in big sweeping moments. It's built in tiny moments every day. And I say that, I share that just because of like the power that we have here, on this platform of social media. It's like being able to just like be vulnerable with people, being consistent with it. And I'm telling you, it'll move like crazy, like in your heart and your business. Like, it's just going to be amazing if you all can just like step out and just really share being vulnerable with like your story, and how the gel and how the company has helped you. That's what I wanted to say.
Awesome. You need to, I really appreciate you shared. You were very vulnerable and shit about your medication and everything else. Well, just be aware of where you're at. That's not so easy to do what you're trying to do, especially with the condition that you have. So, self-care, self-care. And then here's what I really love for you to do, if you don't mind me saying.
Yeah.
You had some really good phrases, some really good content there that you had from people. I think those things mean something to you when you read them to me. I think I really want to hear you. Would you join us next week? And I really want to, and I gave this challenge to John a couple of weeks ago too, and he shared some things about, I really want to hear Jocelyn's real true version of that. Like I know that we take what people say and we take it to heart, and I want you to kind of process some of that stuff and give it back to us just from you, with the vulnerability and with the confidence, because the ability to be vulnerable is really good when it comes from a part of a strength, right? When I said to Kamari about protect your energy and everything, I need you to do the same thing. Protect your own energy when you're giving, so that vulnerability is there. But yet I want to hear some Jocelyn strength now. I want to start hearing some a little bit more power in your voice. I see that you're going through a journey right now, and I want to tell you that I want to feel you dig a little bit deeper. Does that make any sense to you, what I'm saying? I'm being very cautious in the way I'm saying it. I think that you have a lot more power to give, and a huge impact. And I really want to start pulling that out of you. I think you know it. I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're screaming yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. I think one of my biggest battles, just like being honest, is just being a mom is always been kind of like my number one priority. And I've tried to, I have a battle with balancing business and motherhood. And I think that's just my biggest struggle, honestly, is because like I like to be there for all the moments with my kids. And so
even when you're not stealing their iPads. Can I let me let you off the hook a little bit. It's probably the biggest job you have to juggle. So to say it as if it's a thing that you can't get a handle on, no one can get a handle on. That balance is what we're all striving for, right? So understand how a pendulum works, right? Or like a balance scale works. The way that it finds balance is by being in and out of balance until it settles in. And you have to put a little bit more weight on that side, and you got to take a little bit weight off of that side. And then all of a sudden, something as simple as the temperature changes and certain, things that you have on this side of the scale. I mean by temperature, I mean figuratively. Your scale is never going to be balanced because you're constantly changing the weight on both sides. So you have to learn to enjoy. You ever see the videos where the guys are walking on a treadmill and they're just walking, then all of a sudden they start dancing on the treadmill and they're spinning around and they're working? Like, you know what I'm talking about? You ever see that the videos where people are really cool on a treadmill? Right? Or watch some of these Japanese bridge walkers. I don't know if it's Japanese, Chinese, or whatever. They got these rope bridges with wood across them, across the water, and they flow with I'm going to post that in the Empower Hour. I'm going to find that video and I'm going to post it in the Empower Hour. Stop trying to wait for the scale to balance, because it's never going to balance. Learn how to walk on the treadmill while you're carrying a tray of lemon drop shots. Learn how to be on that bridge, because it's never going to stop moving. And if we work towards trying to stop the momentum of the movement of the earth and the movement of people and the challenges of your business, everything's constantly changing. So you need to learn how to maneuver. I'm going to send you that bridge thing. I'm going to release, because if you keep going for balance, you're going to always be struggling. You're going to always be feeling like you just didn't get there and everything else, where it's not. It's a matter of constantly readjusting and rebalancing. You're constantly adding and subtracting weight from either side of that, and that's never going to change. Learn how to, they say, what is it? Learn how to dance in the rain. It's not waiting for the rain to stop. It's learn how to dance in the rain. Now, this is your balance scale is constantly doing this, and you got to learn how to feed the kids while the scale's moving up and down, and then get on a call with your business and do all of that, and stop waiting for the world to stop moving, because it's never going to stop moving. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes some sense for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like to be very intentional, like with my children, and then I also like to be intentional with the business. So it's something that I do struggle with.
Well, that's different than balance. Intention is different. That's different. But I don't want to go too deep, because we're already 18 minutes over. But thank you so much. I hope to see more of you here. Maybe using your own electronics next time.
Yeah.
John, looking forward to hear what you got to say.
Let me go quick, because I have a few bullet points, and it carries off of what a few of y'all said. Number one, though, is that Jocelyn is my sponsor. There's no one that believes in her more than I do. I'll just say it like that from a personal, professional standpoint. Reason being is because she's on her way to life coach, y'all, within the ranking with New You Life. She is a full-time mom. She doesn't have to go to a job. She has created over these other businesses a lifestyle to let her be that person, to stay at home. So when the kids are not there, if they're at school, she does have 100% of her time in a way to concentrate on business, but she has some hiccups that she's talking about. So yeah, she's total diamond ambassador, walk across the stage, giving big speeches kind of person. You just have to get past that. I'm in the same boat when it comes to reaching out a certain way with recruiting, right? Because I overthink it too much. I have way too much knowledge and all that. Paul, or actually Kamani, you were talking about the people that can suck it. They're called emotional vampires. Okay, that's an actual term from psychologists. I've learned a lot about that because I'm a high frequency person. So I really feel negative frequency and I try to process it. Sometimes it's good for you. And if you're able to process it and give it back, that's healthy. If not, you got to get rid of it, right? Paul, purple. Purple is a high frequency color. People will usually say violet. So when you look at the chakras of the body, which are the same exact coordination as the rainbow, it's all by design: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, highest frequency. When you have that, you've got it going on, use it. If you lose it, definitely go find the purple. I need to think more about that too. Kamani, also, when you were talking about phenomenal attracts phenomenal, that comes from like attracts like. So no matter what it is, football attracts football, Barbie dolls attract Barbie, you know, whatever it is, if you're looking for that, give that and see if you can get that back. So what kind of, like Joe Giuliano would understand, what kind of fish are you trying to get? Whatever kind of chum is what you're throwing out into the water to attract those fish that you want to catch more easily than just trying and trying and trying. Rochelle was talking about doing something that you don't like to do. I like to listen to, y'all are talking about John Rome and all these people. I like to listen to the great Mike Tyson. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me just paraphrase. He says, he says, I don't like working out. He says, I don't really like doing it, but nobody knows that, you know? So I'm totally paraphrasing. You got to go out there and do it like you love it, right? No matter what it is, you got to go out there, pick up that phone like you love it. I get excited every time. I got to say that I don't get bored with any part of the business. It's just my hesitation on something because of fear, you know, or just intimidation of the person I'm going to call, or just myself having self-doubt. I work with that all the time, and that's okay, because it's good to recognize the ego so you can have your spirit that wants to overcome that. And we all have ego. Ego is not a bad word unless you put it in a bad word. It's the duality. So when you guys were talking about right here, divorce the outcome, marry the process. I like that. To me, the translation is it's not so much about the destination, it's about the journey, right? So, and if you don't have the muscle memory of the journey, like you were talking about, Paul, then you have to imagine the journey, create the muscle memory in your neurosynapses already. So you were talking about boot camp or something. I went to Parris Island, Marine Corps boot camp. First time I had to go through the infiltration course. What did I do? I visualized myself going through it, because I was like, that's going to suck. That's okay. That's going to suck. Embrace the suck. And I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to focus on that. And everything else is the smooth part. Like you're talking about the bridge, move with it and stuff, right? So I did really well. I was athletic, so I did really well in the infiltration course and then other kind of trainings later on, because I was able to visualize from here to there. And that doesn't always work in my life, because, you know, drama and geopolitics and whatever's going on that can distract you. But that was a really big thing. It's because it's also the journey. My biggest motivation is not just sharing the gel, so to speak. The intent behind it is to get people to want to be a part of a movement that this company has started and provided, and also this quote unquote club that we're in, whether it's the Empower Hour or Team Win that I'm part of with Jordan and Jocelyn and Kamani and other people that want to learn from you, Paul, and all these other beautiful men and women, especially the women. I always love hearing about the women, because this is 80 or 90% of this is more focused towards women. So I think that was it. I just wanted to make sure I got everybody, because a lot of people said a lot of really wonderful things, and I always take good notes. But that's it, making them feel important. I always feel that I have the most knowledge when it comes to talking to other people about this kind of stuff. But I'll learn from other people, but I'm all about teaching, because I'm hoping that when the student recognizes that when they're ready to learn, the teacher will appear. So if I can just throw some nuggets out there, some people go, they want to learn more. Like I got a gentleman that I met, totally on the same page about stuff we're going to be talking today. But then there's some people that you just have to just throw that seed out there and throw a little bit of water and just let it go. So, but that's all I really wanted to say. Hope that wasn't too much.
No, it wasn't too much. Well, I love that you recapped a lot of people there, and it made me realize how much content, how much value was already delivered. So I don't want to take long. There's a couple of things I wanted to dissect, but we could do it another time. Lori, let's go right to Lori. John, thank you very much. Also, by the way, I put that dancing bridge thing. It's a YouTube link I already put in the Empower Hour chat. Okay, and you can see what I'm talking about. Lori.
Hello.
How are you?
Okay.
Good. Good to see you on here.
My first time, and I have a quote: "Live well, love much, and laugh often." And it's all through my house. And I have another one.
Keep going.
Never say can't. Sorry.
Why does that evoke? Why does that bring so much emotion to you? Share with us.
Growing up, I was told always, I'm the bad kid. I can't do it. And that I'm not going to ever succeed. I'm a bad example. And so I changed that around and I told my kids, you can never give up. There's no such word as can't. And you have to continue all the time. And so that's what I do. And I try to enforce that in my children and force the people that I meet. And to live well, love much, and, laugh. Because life's hard and you can't give up.
Well, a lot of people were applauding you, and I just want to do something. I need to let you off the hook a little bit. The people who told you can't, or you were bad, or you were whatever we were, failed you. And what they were doing was making an excuse of why they weren't able to guide you the way that they felt you should have been guided. So it was their failure, not your failure. We're all going to look, every kid is going to touch the hot stove. Every kid is going to do the right thing and the wrong thing until they figure out where they want to take their life. But it's the people who are guiding them. So when someone tells someone who's younger than them, or not even maybe physically younger than them, but emotionally younger than them, or not at the same level, or worst case scenario, Lori, and I need you to think about this. If you are operating at a higher level and it scared them, right? Willing to take chances, maybe were you the bad kid, or were you the kid that didn't have the fear, right, of doing certain things, right? Whether they're right or wrong is irrelevant, because we learn right or wrong as we go. But you were the one who didn't have the fear, and you were exposing fear or insecurity or lack of confidence or lack of knowledge, right? And then you expose that nerve. And the only thing that happened when you hurt them by showing them their shortcomings was for them to try to take it out on you. So that possibility is probably more real than what you think you feel about those memories. And that's where your limiting beliefs are born. Our limiting beliefs are born very early on, of the things we tell ourselves about ourselves, or when we were impressionable, what other people tell us about ourselves. And then we tend to believe them and not change them. And the way they re-manifest themselves is when we're under stress, or when we want something bad enough, or we really want it. And then that limiting belief bubbles up from inside us and tells us, you can't have that. You don't deserve that. When you were a little kid, you were this. Therefore, and these things come up, and they keep us from getting what we want. And it's only us that keeps us from getting what we want, by what we told ourselves or what we believed that other people told us about ourselves. All right. Yeah. And I would bet my kidney, one of my kidneys. I don't think I'd bet my liver, because I only have one of those, but I'd bet one of my kidneys that I'm a little closer to the truth than you may realize you are. And we could help expose that. And that's what part of this thing is. We can't be successful and make tons of money or do whatever we think success is, or be happy or whatever, until we, for lack of a better word, well, I won't use that word, we wash out all of this stuff that's been building up on us, because I have tons of it. You're just more emotionally intelligent than I am, that you hang on to it more. I'm just ignorant to it, or at least I pretend to be ignorant to it so I could push through it. So, so there is some benefit to be a stupid Italian guy from New Jersey. So we'll help you through it. And I really appreciate you sharing. Bob, we're going to end with you, but Lori, that was very, very, very powerful. I think, I think between Jocelyn's, and yours, it's very, very powerful stuff, because you're helping people, because there's people on here who did a really good job of plastering over that stuff, And they're even harder to work with because you got to break through the concrete and plaster that they put over those problems before you can even get to them. And that's why some of us, including myself, have built these imaginary walls around it. So we get a little bit further than you think you're getting, but it's much harder for us to break through to that next level because we got all of that stuff to get rid of before we get rid of the real problem. Bob.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
A lot of this has been coming up, and one of the big things that's been coming up is focus. Me recently, the past few weeks, I've lost my focus on a lot of things. A lot of things have been happening here with the remodel of our house. We recently got not only my wife and I, but a couple other friends. We did some investments, and we come to find out that we wind up getting scammed, and so we wind up losing a lot of this focus. Which brings me back to a quote that a good friend of mine, Mike Gallo, who used to be, he only had, I believe, 5 or 6 professional lightweight fights back in the 70s. And one of the things he always said to me, and it always stuck, was his quote was, "Never stop punching, because the minute you stop punching, you're going to get knocked out." And that's how recently I've been feeling like I stopped punching, feel like I've been getting knocked out. My wife has brought it up to my attention too. Pretty much I've lost my focus, which it has and is affecting our current relationship. But that's not on her, that's on me, because I've lost a lot of that focus, and not only with that, but also with the business. And so I looked up something that Tony Robbins said about focused energy, and one of the things was you need to relearn how to, or you need to learn how to focus again. And what he says is, when you learn how to focus your energy, amazing things happen. And that's from Tony Robbins. So one of the things I need to do is I need to get back on the horse and start refocusing on the task at hand. And that is not only the relationship that I have with my wife, but also the business, because I've been getting so sidetracked. I've been going into looking at other things other than concentrating on the business. And so it all comes back to focusing your energy at the task at hand. Stay away from those distractions, because recently I've been easily getting distracted by a lot of things, because I'm getting bombarded by everything all at once, and I can't focus. So I mean, that's where I'm at right now.
So tell me that you just looked up the Tony Robbins quote today. Please tell me that.
I did.
Good, because that was my gut, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you lost focus on having the quotes in front of you, because you neglected to understand their importance, you went off track. Because you realize, oh shit, shit hit the fan, everything's going wrong for me, I need to figure out. So now what we do is we get a headache, and we don't have any Tylenol in the cabinet, so we got to go to Walgreens, we got to go and we got to buy the Tylenol. So you just went to Tony Robbins because I challenged you to do it, because you had to have something to talk about. And now all of a sudden you realize, well, wow, what if I had that in front of me the whole time? What if I focused more on my personal development, my personal energy, than all the other stuff? I get it. There's a lot of too good to be true situations, right? I've been involved in those things. Want to know something? I lost 60 grand in some of that crypto bullshit. Okay. 61,000 to be honest. Okay. Now, when it's too good to be true, everything's going to go right. There's zero rejection, no recruiting. All you have to do is this. It's bullshit. This is where the business is built. If not, everyone would be doing it and everyone would be a millionaire. When we lose focus in who we are and what we want, things go off. Now, here's the good news, Bob. Get back on your relationship, because we just talked about, did anybody see our Valentine's Day thing where we all talked about how we work on our relationships and everything? Okay. The good news is, Bobby, the good news is it's external forces that are effing with your situation, right? So you two got to get back to the core and throw all that other stuff out. That's the good news. Forget about whose fault it is and everything. It's the fault of the guy or girl who was telling you how great this thing's going to be for you because they were selling their best interest, not yours. So if you want to make sure that you're successful in this business, start selling their self-interest. They're solving their problem, and you will do better. I don't need to be here on Saturday, but if I don't try to give to you or keep you on track, we all fail, right? I owe it to you. I don't owe it to me. I owe it to you. And guess what? When you change from the me mentality to the we mentality, it's so much easier. Why? I'm here every Saturday because someone may need me here to be on Saturday. Not that I want to come here on Saturday. And to be honest with you, the best content that was delivered here was from you guys, not from me. You guys delivered the best content. You ended this. She did a great job with talking about her childhood and everything. But Lori, really, I really appreciate that very much. But Bob, you ended it perfect. You had to look up that quote today. And the reason why is because you lost that focus and you made the entire presentation, the entire call valuable today because, you saw the crisis that it created by losing focus. And the way to keep focus is keeping that. You should take that Tony Robbins quote, even if it's not the best one you've ever seen. Okay. And write it out and put it on a refrigerator and look at it every friggin' day. Even if you find 50 ones better because it made the difference today, you had to force yourself to go look it up to reset your clock. And guess what? Bob, your clock is reset on your relationship. Your clock is reset on your business. Your clock is reset with everybody on this call. And now just try. You're going to lose focus again. I guarantee you'll lose focus again, but less so if you keep that thing, that phrase in front of you all the time. Go back and repair your situation. Blame everybody else but you two. Have a drink, whatever, open a bottle of wine or tequila, whatever your preference is, and realize that outside influences got in and effed with you because of their best interest, not yours. And make a promise to yourself that if you're ever going to make money off of people, you're doing it because you're focusing on their best interest and not yours. Because when you focus on somebody else's interest, when somebody pushes something so hard on you and tells you it's going to be perfect and it's the easiest thing you've ever done and everything else, they are promoting their self-interest, not yours. Every single time, sight unseen, bar none. So forgive yourself for looking at something because I did it too. I gave you a big scenario. I hope you didn't lose as much as I did, but at least to let you know that even I can fall for it. Right. And you know what I did? I invested 20 in 3 different ones. And here's what I said to myself. I know they're all a scam, but what are the odds? If just one of them lasts 30 days, I'll make all that money back and double it based on what they would tell you could do, right? Especially at those levels. So I was counting on 2 of them to go bad. Within 2 weeks, all 3 were gone. I don't want to hear people say, oh my God, this one's been around for 5 years and this one's doing this. Even the one that everybody was saying was the best one is gone now. So that being said, forgive yourself, right? Because what we did was we looked for the easy way out, and there's no easy way out, right? Repair your relationship at home, forgive each other for getting off track, and that's it. And the guys, hold on, Peg, did you want to, Nathan, are you still here? Is Nathan still here? Oh, I guess not. All right. Nathan, our newest distributor from the Bahamas, was on, and I didn't realize, but he just, Omari, who Rick brought in, 18-year-old kid, super motivated, already brought in his first distributor within a day. So really, really good stuff, man. Really good. All right, guys, I love you guys. Bobby, thank you for giving me a really powerful close. Sorry to do it at your expense, but everything is fixable. So long, guys. This recording will be up real soon.
Everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you, Paul. Bye, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Awesome call.